What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Heat Report. And man, Bam Adebayo has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. What a game! What a game! So super exciting. The first game winner of Bam Adebayo's career, and the first buzzer beater. You know, and he's made some big plays already, but this might be his biggest, depending on who you ask. I know the Jason Tatum block was huge. But I'd say this rivals it a little bit. I would still take the Jason Tatum block because of the magnitude in the playoffs. But man, what a shot he hit tonight. Before I get into the whole game, the breakdown of the whole game and what I saw, make sure y'all leave a like and subscribe, man, and comment down below what y'all thought of Bam Adebayo's game and the performance in general. I thought this was a much needed win for the Heat. Coming off a 3-game losing streak, it was really important to get a win. A lot of fans kind of were not that optimistic about this game because it is the Brooklyn Nets. But I had a feeling that we would beat them because we were very close to beating them already without Jimmy Butler. I know it's a different game, but when Kevin Durant got injured, prayers up to KD. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's probably top 2 favorite players in the NBA outside of anyone on the Heat. When he got injured, I kind of was like, okay, we probably should be able to put this to bed. Bam had an amazing game. I thought not only because of, you can look at his box score and say whatever, not only because of his game winner, the defense that Bam played on Kyrie Irving and the whole Nets team. A stat came out that the Nets were 3 for 17 whenever Bam Adebayo was guarding one of them, and Kyrie himself was 0 for 8. Kyrie Irving, a guy who's probably, if you ask me, top 3 skill players of all time, and Bam Adebayo clamped him. Amazing performance by Bam. It was not only him. I thought everyone else chipped in really well. Goran Dragic had a great game. It seems like he's finding some rhythm. And I thought the big guy, Dwayne Dedmon in his first real minutes. I know he had some garbage time minutes against the Denver Nuggets, but in his first real action with the team, I thought he had an amazing game. Took Hassan's old number, which is cool, you know, and he was getting a lot of offensive rebounds. He was playing really good defense. It was a breath of fresh air, and this is no slight towards Precious. He's just not ready yet. He's a rookie. We needed some experience right now to shore up that front court, and Dwayne Dedmon really helped us tonight. So shout out to Dwayne Dedmon. He had a great game in my opinion. He had a double-double, if I'm not mistaken, in his first, real appearance with the Miami Heat. So Dwayne Dedmon, what a performance by Dwayne Dedmon. Kendrick Nunn really chipped in when we needed him to hit some big-time threes. A lot of the things that we asked from Kendrick Nunn to provide, he provided for us. I thought he had a great game. I think the only one who didn't play that well that we were expecting was Tyler, who's still struggling a little bit, but I'm confident that he's gonna pick it back up because we're gonna need him during playoff time. And if we make the playoffs, I don't want to jump the gun. I think we will, but just in case we don't, we're gonna need him. Even down these last games, even if it's not the playoffs, we're gonna need him. And Tyler, I have full faith in Tyler. I think Tyler is 21, so we have to be patient. We can talk about if we're getting rid of him in the summer, but right now he's on the team. He's not going anywhere for these next couple months, so we have to put faith in Tyler because he is a guy. We even saw in the third quarter he had a couple big shots. Tyler. So yeah, I remember there was one where with I think 2 seconds remaining, he hit a shot to end the third quarter and put us up by 2. So Tyler, I think with time, he will get back to his old self. Duncan, not only his spacing was there, he had a couple good cuts to the rim. Gravity on the floor always helps us. Duncan Robinson. And I thought Trevor had an amazing game. His defense all over the place. He started off really hot from the 3. And don't forget, before Bam's game winner and before Dragic's game tying shot, Trevor Ariza was the guy who put us in striking distance. We were down 4. It was kind of like a scrambled play, running left-handed hook, kind of awkward, but it went in, and he cut the lead to 2. Cut the deficit to 2. So Trevor had a great game. His defense was amazing. I thought we played really well. I mean, Landry Shamet kind of just went off. It's kind of common how every role player has a career night against us. I'm kind of used to it by now. He's a new Malik Monk of the Brooklyn Nets, man. He absolutely killed us, and he was the reason that game was so close. But I thought we outplayed them in a lot of different facets. I thought we really kept their main guys like Joe Harris and Kyrie. Without KD, we kind of kept them a little bit quiet. Landry Shamet was the guy that really pulled him. He kind of willed him into that game. And I really want to talk about Bam now. I talked about the team. Bam Adebayo is a max contract player. I don't care what anyone says. You can look at his stats, you can look at whatever, and you can say, why do we pay this guy a max? You don't even have to look at the box score. Watch the impact that he has on our team. Not only does he play excellent defense by guarding all 5 positions, not only has he added the mid-range jump shot into his arsenal, not only can he finish at the rim and is a lob threat, he is an amazing passer. He's an amazing ball handler for his size. He can run the offense. Everything that we ask of Bam, he's capable of doing. The only frustration that a lot of us had with Bam before was that he wasn't imposing his will. The only frustration that we had with him was because we knew he could be so great. We see the potential in Bam. He has immense potential. I'm telling you guys, Bam Adebayo can be whatever he wants to be. He can be a superstar. He can be whatever. Whatever Bam Adebayo wants to be, he can become. I do believe he has that high potential. I do believe the way that he's added this mid-range jump shot, that he's really deployed in some of these games, it's only a matter of time before I think he's going to start pulling the three-point shot. And when he does that, I don't think there's anyone that can stop him. Still don't think he's a true center. But in this day and age, he's probably going to have to play small ball center because we're not going to get any like big man anytime soon. So he's going to be our guy. Yeah, and I think he's a perfect player to have on our team. He's a guy that, you know, he does a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed, and he has a respect. That's why he has a respect of so many guys in the NBA. You know, a lot of guys respect his game. They know how much he means to our team. He's the heart and soul of this team, as everyone says. So shout out to Bam. After this, I do believe our schedule really becomes a little bit more easier. We do play the Rockets. I think we play them tomorrow on a back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, I think we play the Spurs. So yeah, I think the schedule's becoming a little bit more light. I do know that we play, you know, teams like the Celtics and the Sixers and the Mavericks, but apart from those 3 teams, I don't think we play anyone that's super dangerous. We should be taking care of business in all of these games, but I'm not gonna, you know, count any of these other teams out, especially if you look at some of the games that we've lost this season. But we play the Bucks as well. I forgot the Bucks. The Bucks, Celtics, Mavericks, and 76ers are the only games that I could see where, you know, we could play our heart out and we could still lose because those teams are so great. If we do what we're supposed to do against these other teams like the Cavs, the Spurs, I know the Hornets beat us, but the Hornets, the Timberwolves, the Pistons, the Rockets, if we take care of business against all these other teams, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be able to handle the business. And unfortunately, the Knicks won today, which is kind of sad because they were losing. Lonzo Ball just really had to help off that corner for the Knicks to win the game, and the Hornets are blowing out the Trailblazers. Kind of sucks, but we can't really rely on other teams to drop. We got to make sure we take care of business, man, because these teams are going to cool off eventually. I do believe the Hornets are not going to be better than us come playoff time, like in the seedings. I do think the Hornets are going to fall off a bit because they're missing some of their guys. The Knicks is interesting. The Knicks have been playing really well. I just don't know if they're going to be able to sustain it for the whole season, which is kind of interesting because they have done it for this much amount of time. But I don't know. Do we trust the Knicks? I'm not really sure. The Knicks, I do think, have the second hardest schedule remaining in the NBA. So hopefully they can drop a few games because we kind of, you know, if they can't be winning every game, we have to get top 6. I think top 6 right now is what we need to get. I think anywhere between 4 through 6 is fine. depending on who we have to play, like if we're at 6, we're definitely gonna be playing the Bucks. The Bucks are at 3 for sure. The Bucks against us in the first round, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But then again, if we're 4 and 5 and the Hawks are the other team at 4 or 5, then it's gonna be us versus the Hawks. Would you rather play the Hawks? I would rather play the Hawks. But also you have to look at who's 1 and 2, because if we're 4 or 5 and we beat the Hawks, if Brooklyn or Philly is if Brooklyn or Philly is gonna be in the second round, we're gonna have to play one of them. So it's everything's taken right now. It's changing by the minute. We're gonna be looking at who we're gonna be potentially matching up against in the first round. If we're in the playing game, worst case, if we're in the playing game, I want to say there's a lot of possibilities. One thing I don't want is to match up with the Celtics in the first round. I really don't want to match up with the Celtics in the first round. I think we can beat the Celtics, but the Celtics are finding a groove right now. I would not want to go against the Celtics team that is very hot right now. I would much rather go up against the Bucks. I don't know about you guys, than the Celtics. Even the Nets and the Sixers is interesting. Would you rather go up against the Nets or the Sixers? I would rather go up against the Nets, and that may sound completely ridiculous, but I do think that we have some advantages over them. I think we are probably one of the few teams that can be built on paper to beat the Nets, because we are very physical. We have the size, which is weird to say because Bam is only 6'9", but Bam can impose his will over any of these guys. The Nets haven't really had the chemistry playing together. A lot of their players have been injured. I don't think they're as deep as the Sixers, and I don't think Steve Nash is the coach that Doc Rivers is. So I would probably rather play the Nets in the second round than to play in any round than to play the Sixers, which is why in my mind the Nets are probably going to be 2. If we're 6, I wouldn't be opposed to playing the Nets. I wouldn't be opposed to playing the Nets. So I think playing the Bucks and then playing the Nets is fine. I think that's a good scenario for us because we beat the Bucks last year. I don't see any reason why we can't beat them this year. They haven't, Drew Holiday's cool, but he's not someone who's, in my mind, putting them over us in the playoff series. And the Nets and the Sixers, it's tough. The Nets are gonna have to play whoever's 7. They're gonna take care of their business, and we're gonna have to see the Nets if we end up at 6. But it's all projection to shuffle around it always has been. Every day the standings are moving around, and we just got to make sure we take care of our business, like I said before, and I think we'll be fine. But just wanted to talk about this game, man. Bam had an amazing game. I think everyone chipped in. I thought even Spo's rotations were really good today. A lot of people have been criticizing Spo, getting on Spo, especially in that Timberwolves game where he played 4 guards, but I thought his rotations were good today. I really think Spo deserves some credit. His rotations, his strategy to defend Kyrie, I thought it was really good. So hats off to him, and hats off to the Heat for pulling this one out. Hopefully Jimmy comes back soon. They said he might be playing against the Rockets. We better beat the Rockets, bro. If we lose to the Rockets, I'm gonna be very bewildered, because there's no way we should be losing to the Rockets. But then again, we lost to the Timberwolves, so we got to see what happens. But I'll see y'all later. As always, man, shout out to the Heat, shout out to Bam. He's a potential superstar in my eyes, and he can be whatever he wants to be. I'll see y'all later. As always, man. Peace.